far as the DC machine is concerned, in the laboratory also you have seen. So DC machine consists of an armature and it consists of a field winding. So now if you have to show a DC machine, for example, like this, you used to show, and like this you used to represent the DC machine somehow. And this is like separately excited DC machine, and you used to have like your self excited DC machine, so wherein you have your armature as well as your field winding. So the armature winding and the field winding would decide the if the what type of machine it is basically. So DC machine, essentially they are mainly used in power generation, distribution. In earlier days, some the first stance, Alexander, what was his name, who developed the bulb? What was that scientist? Edison. So when Edison started developing the bulb, and they first proposed this particular machine only. They have first proposed the DC machine only, and DC machine was only taken as the standard standard for power distribution. And that was the reason when first it started, they had taken the voltage at 10 volt and what is it, 10 volt and 100 volts. And then they found the DC machine is having, the DC power is having a lot of losses, and it requires a lot of, for transmission it was not good. So for transmission purposes, DC machine was not good compared with the development of the AC machine, especially the development of the transformer. What happened? Can you see? Can you see me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Sir,
yeah. So you can see this, na? Okay. Where is it?
introduction.
Yeah, introduction. You are here. Okay. So, however, see, there are so many things as you can see also. I'm not able to move it. Why? Something happened with my mouse. Okay. So with this thing, they are used in the lightning system also earlier, but with the development of the transformer, everything changed. So you see that in those days, industries and domestic, during Edison's period, all electric were based on DC. However, the AC systems, due to their flexibility means you can transmit your AC for a long distance without losses. Earlier, the DC system encountered a huge amount of losses, and transmitting it for a long distance was very tough. So this was the thing that DC machines gave place to the AC machines. But now also we are using DC machines. Can you tell where we are using DC machines? Can anyone tell? DC machines, where it is getting used? Huh? Tell me. Can you tell? Think. DC machine, where everywhere it is there. DC machine, everywhere it is there. Where all it is there? Tell me.
Sir,
Hmm?
turbine.
Turbines you cannot say, but where else it is? You tell me. Hmm? If you can see our DC machine,
Sir,
if you
milk.
can, hmm?
Universal
Refrigerator,
motors.
sir.
Milk. Ships.
Universal motor.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
you have in your this
Toys.
toys. Yes, good.
Yeah.
And your electrical vehicle,
Robots,
Regulator.
sir. Robots, servo motors, right? Yeah.
brushless
Yeah.
DC motor. Okay, in your car you have. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, sir.
there it is written aircraft ships. So then also you cannot tell. Okay, so they where say DC shunt motor is there, wherein you need a constant excitation. At that place you require this DC shunt motor. Now the design of the DC motor it can be separately excited or self-excited. Now it has got although the name is suggesting DC, but it has an inductive element. Why there is an inductive element? Because of what? Because of the windings. So the copper windings which are wound on the stator and the field windings, you get the DC motor. So for example, you have, this is your armature current, you have your armature inductance, armature resistance. I'll be showing you your field inductance, this thing, your field voltage, and uh, this is somehow your DC motor would look like. This is the design, where this would be your omega, this would be your TD, and your electrical torque that is produced in the DC motor will be given You must be learning control systems also. These models, can you look, can you see this model? Huh? Can you see
Yes,
what?
sir.
Here T is my electrical torque, whereas TL is my load torque, J is my inertia, B is my viscous friction. So in the control system, you have seen and you have developed these type of equations based upon the control model. So this I have drawn a control model of a DC motor. Now, if a machine is acting as a motor, so basically a motor, what it does, it takes electrical power and gives back mechanical output. So in case of a motor, your back EMF would be always less than your terminal voltage. So if I have my back EMF EB in case of motor and my terminal voltage is VT, if my back EMF is EB, back EMF I'm writing back EMF is EB, and my terminal voltage VT is my terminal voltage. Terminal voltage. In that case, in case of motor, my back EMF would be always less than my terminal voltage. In my back EMF would be less than, and it would be less than IA times my RA, or and also your IFRF that will come into picture. Now for simplicity we will remember this. My EB would be, my back EMF would be my terminal voltage minus my drop in the armature conductors. Okay, so drop in the field is also accounted, but that drop is very less, so hence most of the times we are neglecting it, but sometimes we have to take in account if the question is asking. Now, similarly, for a DC generator, if I have to write back EMF, my back EMF in a DC generator would be always greater than, because my output in the DC generator is in electrical form and my input is mechanical form. So my, in case of my DC generator, my back EMF would be, EB would be equal to VT plus IARA. Okay. So this is the case for my equation. For first equation is for motor. Okay, second equation is for generator. So these things you have already studied in your classes. And your back EMF in case of your machine, it depends
Sir,
upon the
it's
flux.
blur.
Now you can see down here. Yeah,
No, no, sir. No, sir.
you
No,
can
sir.
write down. Can you see
No, so.
now?
Yeah,
You
yes,
can
sir.
see now. Okay,
No,
so now you can see these are the equations which you can
sir,
write
again,
down.
same, sir.
Sir.
Keep print, sir. Little
Okay,
good.
now you can
Yeah,
see.
yeah, sir.
So these equation 1 and 2, one is for motor, first one, second is for generator. So you can see that in case of motor, your back EMF is less than the drop. The drop inside the motor is IARA. But in case of a generator, your back EMF is your terminal voltage plus your drop. So in case of generator, you'll get more back EMF. In case of a motor, you will get less back EMF. Now again, one more important thing is that you are having a load current, you are having an armature current, and you are having one more current there. What are the currents? You tell me. See, you'll be having, one is your load current will flow, then your current through the armature flows, then current through the field winding flows. So you are having three parts in a DC machine. One is your armature part, another is your field winding, another is your load current. So that equation is very important. In case of a generator, your load current relationship with your armature. In case of generator, what is your, anybody can tell, in case of generator load current? I want to hear from you. Load current and armature current relation. Can anybody tell me how much would be my load current and armature current relation in case of a generator? So how can I represent? In case of a generator, my I armature current will give me I load plus I field. Okay. In case of a generator, see here. In case if I am having, I will go to that problem also, but because I cannot time and again write and waste time. See here, one problem is there. See, in case of a generator, my armature current is getting added into I load plus IF. Okay. So because of this only, now in case of a motor, this relationship would be, can anybody tell in case of a motor, what would be this relationship? In case of a motor, I'm waiting. Please tell me in case of a motor. Yeah, Veeramani, tell me in case of a motor, you can use internet. In case of a motor, what would be it? In case of a motor relation between, tell me.
IA equal to minus of IL plus IF.
IA is equal to
Minus
no,
of IL plus IF.
no, not
Sir,
like that.
usually can't speak.
See, in case of a generator, if your IA is IL plus IF, in case of a motor, what will happen? See, in case of a motor, only thing is happening. See, if a machine is acting as a motor, okay, now I told you in the very beginning, the same machine will act as a generator also. The only thing is that nothing is needed to be changed. The only thing is that input given to that machine has to be mechanical. Output will come electrical. I can show you in the laboratory with a small motor. I can rotate that motor and connect a bulb. That bulb will glow, and I will give an electricity to that other side, input side, output side. The shaft of the machine will rotate. So the only thing is that the same machine can act as a motor and same machine can act as a generator. Now, one important question in an interview it can come. Now, if a machine is acting as a motor and the same machine we are converting it into a generator, when it was acting as a motor, it is running as in clockwise direction. What will happen if we reconnect the machine and give and make it to act as a generator? If as a motor it was clockwise, as a generator, what direction it will rotate? Please tell me.
Anti-clock.
Wrong. Same direction. That is the trick in that. Okay.
Same direction, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
That is the trick in that. See, a machine will only a machine, if the same machine is acting as a motor and the same machine is acting as a generator, now only if it is acting clockwise and anti-clockwise, how the rotation will change? The rotation will only change if you alternate the supply. That's it. If you are giving an alternate plus and minus, you are alternating or a terminal, then only it will rotate in another direction. So what is there if it is acting as a motor or a generator? It's the same machine. So it will rotate in the same direction. Got my point? Got my point, Veeramani?
Got it, sir.
Only thing is that you have to change the field winding. Okay. The supply to the field you have to change. Okay. For example, in the field winding here, you are giving the supply like this. You have connected the voltage like this, minus to plus. Here you can see. Here you can see minus to plus you have given. Now you can see. Yes. So
Yes, sir.
for this, if it is rotating like this in this direction, only thing is that what you have to do is that you have to change. You have to change minus to plus like this. You have to change. Then it will rotate like this. Like this, you have to connect. Okay.
Sir, your voice is stuck, sir.
Like this you have to connect, in the other ways to alternate it. So these are some essential concepts. Now you tell me what would be the IL. See, IA is equal to IL plus IF in case of generator. In case of motor, what would be the equation? Huh? In case of motor, okay, you are trying to chat. Somebody told me he's trying to chat. Wait. Yeah. So mic is not owning. Whose mic is not? Your mic is not owning. Okay, Veeramani. So yeah, tell me, in case of generator, what would be the case? So you think over it. Okay. You think we will start with this, how it will happen. So this is basically when armature current is getting divided to load. But in case of generator, what happens is that it is not minus, your load current gets divided. So think over it and then come back to it. Go revise a bit. Okay. So this was about it. And in the DC machine, you can see we have a field in the DC machine, and the field winding is wound on salient poles. Salient poles are what? Salient poles are what? In synchronous machine also we heard about salient poles. They are salient poles means what? Salient pole and non-salient pole. salient pole and non-salient pole, again you have to revise this. Salient pole means they will have less number of poles if it's a salient pole system, and the poles would be protruding. Okay, and with salient poles you cannot go for a very high speed. Same thing, the field system produces the magnetization required for the machine. So basically, in the field winding, we are connecting and we giving the voltage to the field winding, and this field winding is getting excited. So field winding essentially is connected to the stator of the machine. So the stator of a DC machine primarily consists of yoke, that is the body, main poles, interpoles, and field windings. So here you can see the stator of the DC machine. So this is the stator, cut section of the stator. These are the field windings. Okay, this is pole, so this is a two pole machine. How you can say two pole? One, two, three, four. So every pole will, pair of pole means one pole, one pair here. See, one and two, this pair, one and two. So this is a two pole machine. Okay, so this is your stator and this is your armature. So this field winding
Sir,
is
where is
wound on.
interpole, sir?
So interpole is in between these things. So it's not shown here. It's a small cut section. Interpole will be in between the these poles, and there will be one compensating winding also. So right now we are interested in those designs. When it will come, I'll show you this. This is the commutator arrangement. You know what commutator arrangement? Commutator and brush arrangement is there. So here only commutator can be seen, so brushes are also wound over there. So this arrangement acts as a mechanical rectifier. Okay, basically essentially it rectifies and gets the output as DC also. Although input we are giving DC, but when it goes inside these poles, it tries to become sinusoidal. So hence with this commutator brush arrangement gets it into the back into the DC. So now the main thing which we are interested in, see here. See, there are main poles. These to produce main it consists of pole core and pole shoes. So supports the field coil, spreads the flux in the air gap. As the tomorrow's session, I will show you a better diagram. I'll get a better diagram. So I'll show you commutator, compensating, winding, brushes, just like the induction machine class we saw. So we had very good visualization. So today's class, I was not interested. I'm interesting to start with the this output equation of a DC machine. So interpoles are provided to improve command, and thus the sparkless operation of the machine. They are made of laminated low carbon steel in case of large machines. Solid low carbon poles are used in case of small machines. See, they are tapered or parallel sided to avoid magnetic saturation. So this interpoles arrangement, how they are placed next to what tomorrow's class I'll be showing, so it will become very clear. So field windings, you can see two types, main field and interpole winding. So the main field winding basically consists of round copper wire for small and medium sized machines and rectangular conductors for large machines. Now let's go to the rotor side. So the rotor of the has got armature core, winding, commutator, brush arrangements, and bearings. So this has got this rotor core here only, the commutator brush arrangement in the rotor only it is there, not in the stator side. So these interpole compensating winding here in the stator side, whereas the rotor side these other arrangements are there. Now the most important factor we have to see is the output equation of the DC machine, and commutator brush arrangement we'll come back to that. So let's go to the output equation, because tomorrow's class I think I'll show you properly a commutator brush arrangement. I'll get a nice diagram and it will be. Now let's see if you want to go for the output equation of a DC machine, like in every machine, like transformer we calculated. So how do we calculate it in transformer? In transformer, to get the output equation, first we have taken the what, Q is equal to VI into 10 power minus 3. Here in the DC machine, what is the output? Output, I told you, is the EMF. Okay, so basically output is power only, mechanical power or your electrical power. Okay, so your power in case of a DC machine, you don't have a power factor concept here. You simply have your EMF into your current multiplication. So your EMF into your armature current will give you power in case of a DC machine. Your EB, your back EMF into your armature current will give you. So here certain factors are there, output kV, okay, for generator, HP for motor, rated voltage. These are the types, type series, shunt, excitation. How do we classify this, rise time, full load current and all? So let's go. for the power. Now, for example, for the power, simply it will give E into IA into 10 power minus 3. So 10 power minus 3 is for the kilowatts. If we are expressing it in watts, then E into IA, or in kilowatts, 10 power minus 3, same thing. In DC machines, one thing we know categorically, our EMF depends upon 5P NZ by 60A. This formula we have seen in the previous classes also. If you have not seen in, because we have limited time, I can share that how this formula is coming in a PDF that you can watch, or can make a small YouTube video. I can share that with you. But in this session, we are I hope that this formula you must have studied. Thara, remember this 5P Zn by 60A? How many of you are
Yes, sir.
like in electrical motors, DC machines? You have studied this formula previously, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You have studied this. So this is the formula for, see, just like the formula for the transformer, E was 4.44 T phi, and this N phase. Similarly, your EMF formula is 5P Zn by 60A. Now, how can you express this? See, N by 60, this is N by 60 is in N is in RPM. Now, if you want in RPS, so you will take small n. Small n would be N by 60, and its value would be in RPS, rotation per second. So you can write, instead of N by 60, you can write N over here. Okay, then phi you take out, phi you have taken out. Then P by A you take out, P by A you take out. Z is the total number of conductors. Again, if you have two turns, so Z would be 2 T phase. Okay, here also same thing. So here in this equation, you can see where this P is the number of poles. Okay, flux is per pole, Z is number of armature conductors, and N by 60 is in RP, and A is the number of parallel paths. Now this A is equal to 2 in case of a wave wound DC motor, and A is equal to number of poles in case of a lap mount DC motor. Hope in the design class you are studying CADM. Huh? A is equal to how much in
Yes,
case
sir.
of a wave? A is equal to how much in case of a wave wound? A is the number of parallel
Yes,
paths. A is equal to 2 in case of a wave wound. Now the famous equation, ever famous equation is there. This P phi, see, so many times in the transformer, in the induction motor, in the synchronous motor, by now you should have remembered. If you want to express P phi in terms of your magnetic magnetic density, how can you express? So P phi is equal to BAV by pi dl. BAV, your magnetic flux density, is equal to P phi by pi dl. That we have already seen. Okay, in the transformers also we have seen this thing. Okay, or magnetic flux density. Induction motor also I have seen. So P phi, how can I express? P phi is basically the magnetic flux density is what? Your current by area. Okay, current by area. So current is how much? Current will depend upon how many poles you are having, because your current is what? Current is an magnetic representation of flux. So current you are replacing by flux, and the number of poles it is linking. So total current is this, and area is pi dl. So area depends upon pi dl. Basically, the cross section is for this term for that area would be pi dl. So same thing, P phi pi dl. So P phi you can express it in terms of BAV pi dl. So here in this expression you can replace, instead of P phi you can write BAV pi dl. You can write BAV pi dl. So okay. So the specific electrical loading, that is ampere conductors. So ampere conductors, how do you give? Ampere conductors is given by IZ into Z by pi d. So this IZ into Z is pi dAc. Now one thing is there here. If you can see here, you have what do I say? Here you have this phi PA Z by N. So for P phi you can replace. Okay, P phi you can replace. And now here in the formula here, if you replace this, I'll write in a notebook so it will be very clear. No, so PA, how can you replace? PA can be written as, instead of this P phi we will express in terms of BAV pi dl. Okay, so it can BAV pi dl instead of p5, and we are left with z and n, and there we are left with into ia into 10 power minus 3. Okay, so there we are left with, see here, BAV pi dl we have written. So there we are left with iz by z by pi d. So this iz by z, so where this iz by z is coming, wait, I'll write in a board. 1 second.
Excuse me, sir.
So where, yeah. So what is your specific, if you want to express your specific electrical loading, so how do you express your specific electrical loading? So now you can see here, this term is, what do I say, this term is your P5 pi dl. So till here you are clear. Now this iz by z into pi d, sir, from where it came, sir? We are not understanding. Please explain. Nobody is asking. So from where it came is,
How it came, sir?
now you are, that's what I was wondering, why you are not asking how it came. I'll explain now.
No, sir.
See,
Breaking.
okay. Basically, what happens is that here you can see now P5 I have substituted, Z is there, A is there, N is there. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
This value, see, this A value will be here. So when I substitute this value, I get this, see, PA is what? PA is basically E into IA into 10 power minus 3. So what is the value of E? The value of E is BAV pi dl Z into N into IA by A into 10 power minus 3. So this is equation 2, equation 3. So can you look at these equations? Can you look at these equations? Now it's clear. So what basically I am doing is that P5 value I have taken out. Okay. P5 value I have taken out. Instead of P5, I can write aram se that equation BAV pi dl. And what is my IA by I? IA by I can write. See here in the equation, when I'm resubstituting back here in the equation 3, how can I write my PA? I can do one thing, P5 I can take out, because P5 I can take out. And then I can write IA by I into Z into N into 10 power minus 3. So this equation I put in bracket, please have a look at this equation. So this equation, yeah, where is that? Can you, where? Yeah.
Sir,
So,
keep little down, sir.
yeah. So can you see this equation which I put in bracket?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So from there only it came. So it did not come directly. Okay. So see, I am writing IA by I. So IA by I can be written as IZ. Okay. IA by I. So basically what I did is that I split the EMF equation, and the EMF value I put in the equation 1. That is in my PA equation, I put this value. I resubstitute. See, P5 and A, I am substituting there. Instead of my E, I am writing P5A Zn into IA into 10 power minus 3. Then what I am doing, P5 I am taking out, and what I am doing is that P5 into IA by A into Z into N into 10 power minus 3. Instead of P5, I am directly writing BAV pi dl. Now IA by A into Z. Now IA by A is IZ. This value IA by A, I am writing IZ. So here what I can write now is P5 into IZ into Z into N in 10 power minus 3. So this is another bracket I have made like this. On the bottom you can see this, because I wrote IA by IZ. Can you see? Can you see? Hello? Are you able to see?
Yes, sir.
Viramani, so you understood now?
Yes, sir.
Take down these things. You have to take down, because you have to apply your mind. If I simply write over there, na, will not apply. What is the fun in that? So that's why I kept deliberately, so that while engaging the class, you will understand things. Now you are understanding how
Yes,
this
sir.
came.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You
Got it.
take down. You take in a copy and pen. You write down.
Writing, sir.
See,
Writing, sir.
so you see, now this P5 value is BAV pi dl. So I substitute here, instead of P5, I'll substitute BAV pi dl. Okay. So, and the specific electrical loading. See, specific electrical load IZ by Z. So this AC is equal to IZ by Z divided by pi d. Electrical loading is the number of conductors into the current passing through this over the cross sectional circumference. This is 2 pi r. So AC is Iz into Z by pi d. This is a universal thing. So Iz is what? Iz is Ia by A. So that thing, I have written Ia by A into Z is Iz into Z. So I can replace that Iz by Z in terms of AC. Now Iz by Z in terms of AC, if I have to replace Iz by Z, I can write pi d into AC. So instead of Iz by Z here, so finally what I can write, instead of P5, I am writing BAV pi dl. Instead of P5, PA in kilowatt, I wrote BAV pi dl. Instead of IZ into Z, I write AC into pi d, and rest is there into n into 10 power minus 3. So what I get is d and d are repeating. So this comes d square, L will come out, n is here, 10 power minus 3 out, pi square BAV AC. So this pi square BAV AC in 10 power minus 3 is taken as C naught. Okay, like in the earlier case also we have taken. This is a constant term. Magnetic field density you cannot change. AC you cannot change because you cannot change the number of parallel paths. Can you change the number of parallel paths? Because AC is dependent upon the number of parallel paths, number of current, and number of poles. You cannot change magnetic field density. You cannot change. Hence, this is a constant term called C naught d square ln. Now, instead of n, if we had not taken in RPS, if we take, for example, in RPM, capital N, so that 60 term will come. Okay. So where C naught is equal to pi square BAV AC in 10 power minus 3 is referred to the output coefficient of the DC machine. Now, so suppose in terms of N, then what? In terms of N, if we have to take same thing, everything will remain same. This BAV pi dl into Q. Some books will write instead of AC. See here, I have written AC. I have written AC into 10 power minus 3. That is AC pi d. Na. There you can see Q pi d has been written. You can write Q or AC. AC is ampere conductors. Q is also ampere conductors. Some books will write, so don't get confused. This is the same thing, AC. So, but here, what I have to substitute, I cannot write N. I have to write N in 10 power minus 3 by 60. So this 0 will go up. That will become 10 power minus 4. 1 by 6 would give you, I think, 1.64. 1 by 6. 6 tens are 1. Then 6 will come 4, 40. 6 6 are 36. Okay. Again, you are left with 44, 40. So, no, again, 6 6 are 36. So, you will get around 1.64. 1 by 6, you see, 1 by 6 is how much? You will get around 1.64 in 10 power minus 4 BAV pi this d square L and C. So this d square L you can take in terms of d square L PAV KW 1.64 in 10 power minus 3 BAV ACN. So AC here I have written Q, here I have written same thing, here I should write AC. Okay, here you take down AC. Some books are writing this as Q, so by mistake it has happened as Q because I have replaced it by AC. So here you do there is a mistake, so write it by AC. Okay. So this was about the output equation of a DC machine. So how do we go for the output equation of a DC machine? Very simple. It has appeared in the examination. This is an examination problem for 10 marks. This problem has appeared just to get the output equation of a DC machine. Very simple. If it comes in my paper, means it's a gift, isn't it? First thing, what is it? First thing, we know that the power, how can we express power? Power we can express, it's a DC power, current into voltage into 10 power minus 3. Then how do I express my voltage in terms of DC? Pi 5 PZN by 60A. Okay. if I'm expressing in terms of RPM, then RPM okay, then no problem, n by 60. But in terms of RPS, then I have to write small n, and I have to write n small n is equal to n by 60. So I'll divide it into phi p a z by n. So this value phi p a z by n, this value equation 2, I'll substitute in equation 1. When I'm substituting in equation 1 instead of e, I will write phi p a z into n into ia into 10 power minus 3. That would be my complete equation. So in my complete equation, I see my one term is there p phi. So this term p phi I can express in terms of magnetic flux density. Then I have another term ia by a will come, that I can express in z, iz into z, and rest is in 10 power minus 3 into n. So iz into z I can express in terms of ampere conductors, and bav I express like this p phi pi dl. So this p phi will be bav pi dl, and the specific electrical loading iz into z in terms of AC I can express pi d. So this iz value pi dac, this pi dac, this bav, this n in 10 power minus 3, I get an output equation pi square bav ac in 10 power minus 3 into d square ln. So, and in kilowatts, if I want to go for the kilowatts thing, so I can write c naught d square ln, and I can get the again the value, and I can resubstitute here if I want in terms of n, capital N. So I have to substitute n by 60. Rest same things will follow. I'll get an expression because of this 60 term. I'll get in terms of this equation. Hope you followed this. Now let's go to one problem. Let's see how to do. Okay, can anyone read for me this problem? 10 marks it has come straight. I have taken from the VTO paper 2020 only. Last paper that was conducted, February, I think. Yeah. Anyone? Shivram? 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 Are you there? Hara, Shweta, anyone? No one is there. Huh? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Can you read for me this question? Can you read?
Yes, sir.
Please read. Please read this.
A design is required for a 50 kilowatt pole. So they did mention in how many poles.
Can't see the screen, sir.
50 kilowatts. Yeah. You read pole 600
600 RPM DC shunt generator. The full load terminal voltage is 220 volt. If the maximum gap density is 0.83 Weber per meter square and the armature ampere conductor per meter is 30,000. Calculate the suitable dimensions of an armature core to give square pole face. Assume that the full load armature voltage is 3% of rated terminal voltage and that of field current is for 1% of rated full load current. Ratio of pole arc to pole pitch is 0.67.
Okay, so let's give. So armature current they are mentioning is 0.03. Resistance also they have given. Okay, 220. Okay, so the full load terminal voltage is 220 volt. If the maximum gap and the armature ampere conductor per meter, calculate the suit of armature is given pole load armature voltage is 3% of the rated and the field current is 1% of rated full load current. So and that the okay, so armature voltage drop. So the voltage drop in the armature is 3% of the rated terminal voltage. You can see it is written. Assume that the full load armature voltage drop. So the armature voltage drop is essentially 220 volt. Okay, the full load terminal voltage is 220 and armature voltage drop would be IA into RA is 3% of that 220. So IA into RA is 3%, 3 by 100 into 220. So you get an value of I think how much is that? 0.66 something you'll get 66 0.66. So now it is an generator. In generator your EMF is always greater than terminal voltage, so V plus IARA in the very beginning I have showed you. So you'll get the value of 220 plus 0.03 into 220, you get 226.6 volts. So now your full load current, if you want load current, how much it will take. So you have the power, this is the power rating. Okay, power is 50 kilowatt divided by the voltage 220. So you get a full load current. 15 10 power 3 divided by 220 is 227 ampere. Now if field current, it's mentioning the field current is 1% of the rated full load current. So rated full load current, you got 227. 1% of 227 is 1 by 0.01 into 227. That is 2.27. So you got the field current. You got the load current. Load current plus field current will give you the armature current in case of a DC generator. Now, if it was a DC motor, it would be a different equation. That equation you have to find out. Now you have to do the same problem as an assignment. This would change as a not DC shunt generator but a DC motor. Okay, then here the equation changes. So that you have to find out how it changes and why it changes. You should write. I will post one. So here you get the value of, now you get the value of armature current here. Now we have d square L from that formula which we have derived here. D square L is equal to PA kilowatt 1.64 in 10 power minus 4 BAV AC into N. There are 10 or 12 formulas in entire this. In transformer also 3-4 are there essential. Induction machine 3-4, in synchronous machine 3-4. Those formula list I'll be making and I'll be posting tomorrow, and hopefully you remember those formulas. It would be very good if you remember those formulas. And
Yes.
huh? Yes.
Share scanner, sir.
What's scanner?
Yes, sir.
Scanner, oh, scanner is there. I'll share, no problem. That also I'll share. So that apart from that scanner, you need to solve the problems. Now you need to know. Suppose somebody twists. Suppose I make a problem, I will not see the scanner, right? If I am making the problem, would I go for the scanner? I have thousands of books. I can make any which ways. I can do one thing. Here I will twist. Here I will twist. So here I will twist. So what will be the help of the scanner if you are not understanding, if you are mugging and going? Scanner is okay. If you have good luck means okay, they repeat the question same. Usually it does not happen. Okay. So now the same formula we have D square L would be equal to PA kilowatt 1.64 in 10 power minus 4 into BAV Q and N. Q is what? Ampere conductors. In the scanner they are rating this AC. In ampere conductors is given 3000. Your speed N is also given 600 RPM. So this is RPM. Hence we have taken N by 60 wala formula. If it was in RPS, we cannot take this formula. We have to go for other formula. So we have to be very careful while doing the problem. So now this PA is equal to E into IA into 10 power minus 3. Okay. So we can calculate, this is already given also 50 kilowatt. So we want this dimensions D square into L. So PA will substitute 1.61 10 power minus 3 will substitute. AC is there, N is there. BAV value we can calculate P5 P5 by pi dl. So P5 BAV value is needed to be calculated. So BAV value, see D square by L. So only thing is that BAV value. So BAV value is the maximum value, but here this again in the problem also yesterday we have seen this BAV value depends upon some factor. So this total factor phi into BG. So actually phi into BG, here BAV value they have mentioned, I think 8 point something somewhere they have mentioned. See the maximum flux density is 0.83 Weber, and this is assume that the full load armor of the and that of the field rated armature. Here ratio of pole arc to pole pitch, when you have to take that BAV value, you have to multiply that BAV value with your pole arc to pole pitch ratio, then only you will get average value. Remember, that is your maximum value. Your average value is 0.67 into 0.83. So this is the BAV value, not this. 0.83 is the maximum value. Average value is pole arc into pole pitch. This problem we have done yesterday also, we have seen. Once you multiply this value, so you D square L, you get in terms of 0.0316 meter square. And for square pole face, your L by Z ratio, L by pole arc to pole pitch ratio, or this Z is pi d by P. Many times I have told you Z is pi d by P is 0.67 or is equal to, see here, L is equal to 0.67 into pi d by P. So P you have to calculate. Okay, P, how do you calculate? P is not given there. So how do you go for the P? Number of poles is not given there. The full load armature MMF, if the speed is how much? 120 into 50. 120 into 50. No, frequency is not there. The concept here is the pole should be given. 150. So wait 1 minute. 6, no. The number of poles they have not mentioned, huh? Ratio is missed here. Okay, 4, it's a 4-pole machine. Okay, that's what in a scanner is like this it will happen, not given only. See here, because we cannot, if you go for a DC machine and you go for calculating the pole in this manner, ns is equal to 120 f by p, you will get 10 pole, whether it is a 10 pole machine. No. Okay, so that is the problem with the scanner. Okay, so see here, pi d by p. So the pi d value is there. Number of poles is given in the problem. It has to be given. So once you are substituting this ratio, you will get the value of length, and then you, that value of length with the value of d, you get 0.06. D value you get, length value you get. So this is how to calculate the main dimensions. And for square pole face, your L by Z ratio is 1. That we have already seen. See here that given the calculate the suitable dimension to give square pole face. Square pole has one dimension, rectangular pole has one dimension. If you go back to my videos, if you check my videos, you will get everything from that, because you, most of you just log in and just leave it at that. I know that. So here I conclude my class. Any doubt you have, you can please tell me at this moment. You are having any doubt? Huh?
Sir.
No.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. No,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay, I'll then stop recording, and
Okay.
thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.